Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dakota Fundraising News podcast. You're joined by myself, Conch, and my co-host, Pat. Thank you, Pat. Last episode, soloing that one, was a little under the weather. Just came back from the West Coast, drove down the PCH. It was gorgeous, but caught a little bug out there. So happy to be back, though. We'll just get right into it. Want to lead us off with any recent job changes, Pat?
Yeah, happy to. First, we'll start out with Fund Evaluation Group. So Derek Kortz has joined FEG Advisors. He's going to be an institutional portfolio analyst. Previously, he was with Kroger on their pension investment strategy. I want to talk a little bit about Harvard Management, too, and then I'll let you close out this segment, Conch. But James Snevely has joined the Harvard Management Company as Director of Strategic Initiatives. Previously, he led operations and risk at Trinity Wall Street. On the Ivy League topic, I'm actually going to the UPenn and Yale football game tomorrow, so I'm very pumped about that.
That's awesome. Sweet. You're going to have to tell me how that goes. But yeah, next up here, we mentioned LPL a ton on this one as far as their acquisitions goes, but just a quick leadership change as well. Rick Steinmeier, they've named him the new CEO, and then as far as their CFO goes, they've named Matt Audette as the CFO there. So interesting to call that out, but we'll go back right into some acquisition news as well. So as far as REAs goes, Greenwood Gerhardt has merged with an REA out in Boston, the Boston Mountain Money Management firm. They manage around $215 million in assets. This is going to result in approximately $1.6 billion in total assets with around 20 staff there. So interesting to note there. We've covered Raymond James a ton. Why don't you let us know what's going on there?
Yeah, Boston Mountain Money Management. That is hard to say, and they're not based in Boston, which is bizarre. But congratulations to the team over there. But now we'll jump to Raymond James. Raymond James has picked up a $1 billion New York team from Merrill Lynch. That is the Scott Klein Gates Gandolfo Wealth Management team. This is a very wordy segment of the podcast today, so apologies in advance for any listeners if we're slipping up, but you can find all of this in Dakota Marketplace, of course, on Fundraising News. But that firm is a 9-person team, and like I mentioned, they are going to be joining Ray J. They'll operate as part of the Raymond James Williamsville branch, reporting to the director, a gentleman named Gary Hernandez over there. And then I'll just wrap this segment up and then send it over to you, Conch, for searches. Breaks my heart, as that's my favorite segment. But we'll talk about a Wells Fargo team. So $400 million ex-Wells Fargo team has established their own independent RIA. This is in Southern California, where you were just last week. And they are going to be called Sirios Wealth Management. That is, Greg Sirios is going to be the leader. He is joined by Beverly Patton and Kimberly Roberts, and they are in La Jolla, California, a beautiful area. I wonder if they're hiring. I might have to lose this gig and get over there.
That's awesome. Anybody ever get a chance to go out to La Jolla, the kayaking out there with the coves and stuff? It's awesome. Did that last year. But yeah, we'll jump into searches. Norfolk County Retirement System, which is based in Boston, if I'm not mistaken. They recently released an RFP for U.S. fixed income, so they're looking to allocate about $150 million to fixed income. This is going to be for a U.S. opportunistic investment grade fixed income product. Deadline for this one is going to be November 15th, so not too far out. The consultant they'll be using is Wainwright Investment Counsel. Just some other quick details here. They're going to be considering separate only managed accounts and pooled funds, mutual funds, passive, long-short fixed income, or enhanced passive investment vehicles will not be considered, so just something to note there. And then they're preferring a strategy that's diversified, not sector strategies, but a strategy that invests in U.S. dollar-denominated securities, primarily investment-grade securities, although a maximum of 20% of the strategy may be invested in non-investment-grade U.S. securities. Bit of a mouthful there as well, but we'll jump into investments. There's a number of these. State of Wisconsin, we published this on our website recently thanks to our editorial director, Matt Hurst. Why don't you let us know what's going on in the state of Wisconsin?
Yeah, State of Wisconsin Investment Board, SWIB. They use Callan, Stepstone, Axia. They have a handful of consultants. They obviously have their own internal team, too, operating out of Madison. They have made recent commitments of $70 million to Altriarch. That is $20 million in the Altriarch Specialty Finance Fund, asset-backed private credit. and another $50 million to a forthcoming strategy. And then shout out to our friend Gregory Antonelli with Altriarch. Not sure if you listened to the pod, Greg, but congratulations on the win to you, Danielle, and the broader team.
Awesome. Love to see when people that we're connected with get some wins. Moving to Kentucky here, Kentucky Public Pensions Authority, they've recently allocated $60 million to private credit. So $60 million is going to be going to Strategic Value Partners Continuation Vehicle. Kentucky Public Pensions Authority, they leverage Wilshire as their consultant, where they manage around $25 billion.
Nice. And then I'll wrap it up with two. We'll start with Oregon and then have a little hometown special. So starting with Oregon, we have Oregon Public Employees Retirement Fund has made a handful of commitments. I'll just run through them quickly. Lotus Infrastructure Fund 4, private infrastructure U.S. fund. It is $150 million commitment. 2 to real estate, 1 with Core Plus Real Estate, which is the HAMS Income and Growth Healthcare Fund. The next is Harrison Street European Core. And then they did also participate in a Harrison Street infrastructure sidecar for $50 million. And then finally on the real estate side, Opportunistic Real Estate Fund 5 with Sculptor Real Estate. That was a lot. Conch, talk to us about Newcastle County for all of our Delaware listeners. Go Blue Hens. For those of you who don't know, I am a Delaware Blue Hen alum.
Yeah, Newcastle County, they manage a little over $500 million in assets, leveraging NEPC as their consultant. They've allocated around $9 million to Zenith Partners Fund 2. That is a buyout strategy on the private equity side. So a little bit of a smaller allocation there, but as always, just try to call it some smaller allocations anytime we get a chance.
Yeah, fundraising updates for the day. I had a solo episode last time, so decided I would create a new segment and not tell you about it. And this is the first time Constance is seeing this. So we have a new segment on the podcast here. We're talking about firms that are currently fundraising, successful fundraisers. Fundraising is an unbelievably hard job, so we want to call out not only the allocations that are being made, but the effort that goes into receiving those allocations. If you want us to call out yours, please feel free to reach out. But we'll start out with a New York-based RIA that is GoalVest Advisory. They have launched a venture growth fund with a $50 million target. That is a closed-end fund targeting mid to late-stage venture-backed companies. The minimum investment for that is $250,000. Private credit, we can't stop talking about it. This actually might be the first mention of it today on the podcast, though, which is probably the longest we've taken to get to private credit. But Whitehawk Capital, congratulations to the team over there for raising over $1 billion, $1.1 billion in equity commitments for the final closing of Whitehawk Fund 4. That is double the predecessor fund. Again, it is not an easy job to do, so congratulations to the team over there. Conch, take us away with Sweetwater, and then why don't you close us out for the day so everyone can stop listening to me.
Yeah, Sweetwater Private Equity, they're launching their 4th generation of their secondaries fund, so targeting around $650 million for this fund. This is according to a Form D filing that was filed on the 17th of this month. All Form D filings you can find in Dakota Marketplace. But yeah, this is following their January final close of the predecessor fund, where they received a little over $500 million in capital commitments, and we did call out $50 million going to that fund from the New Mexico State Investment Council earlier this year, actually. That'll wrap it up for that segment. If you haven't checked out our Dakota Cocktails at all, we were just in our office last night here downtown in Philadelphia. Great turnout. We'll be in Toronto on November 6th. And then as far as product updates within Dakota Marketplace, I'm taking Pat's job here, but we just released consultant reviews in addition with our manager presentations in Dakota Marketplace. So if you're looking for presentations from consultants, NEPC, Makita, Hamilton Lane, their insights on different funds or asset classes, you can now drill down on that a lot easier in Dakota Marketplace. So shout out to my colleague here and the product team. But that'll wrap it up for this week. We'll be back next week, as always, with a couple more episodes. Anything that we've mentioned here you can find in Dakota Marketplace. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Dakota Marketplace. Are you tired of constantly jumping between multiple databases and channels to find the right investment opportunities? Introducing Dakota Marketplace, the comprehensive institutional and intermediary database built by fundraisers for fundraisers. With Dakota Marketplace, you'll have access to all channels and asset classes in one place, saving you time and streamlining your fundraising process. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching through multiple databases, websites, Form ADVs, and say hello to a seamless and efficient fundraising experience. Sign up now and see the difference Dakota Marketplace can make for you. Visit dakota.com/Dakota-Marketplace today.